Hello, everybody. Okay, let me get the music popping. There we go. I went to play and put the thing on a playlist, and I accidentally moved the playlist onto my clipboard, and I was like, what do? Okay, I got that closed. Hello, LeMay. Alright. Let me let people know that I am live. I actually posted about the stream kind of early this time. So I won't be on the starting soon screen nearly as long. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let's let people know that I'm live. Hey, Kalora. I'm doing all right. I was supposed to do some things today, and I went to bed early last night, and I woke up early today to do those things. But then anxiety happened. And between anxiety and stress, I just kept getting distracted, and then I didn't do the things that I needed to do. So now I can't do them, and so now I'm going to have to deal with them on Monday. But by that point, I'm going to have a late fee. So, because it was basically, I was supposed to... I'll get into more of this later, actually. Let me finish posting and letting people know that I'm live. Anyway, how was everybody's week? What did everybody get up to? Oh, it would help if I had my model out. Okay. Hello, Silva. Good to see you. Got that. Tuck that away over there. Good to see everybody here. Okay. So I got distracted with something literally right before stream. And like... There was... What is this? Oh, sorry, I just found something online. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. Is someone selling a wiki online? Like they're selling like, oh, it's a shirt. So why does the shirt have the wiki name in it? Okay, whatever. People are weird. People are weird, chat. You're so eepy. Oh. Brainstorming your second book, looking for people to read your first book. That's always the challenge, LeMay, is finding people to proofread. Well, I hope you get some rest, Kalora. I hope that this stream will be fun for you and not difficult, but I know what it's like to be super eepy. I have two completed, not completed. I guess they are completed. Two completed first drafts. And my first one, I had contracted someone to proofread them for me. They'd worked out a whole deal, right? Because it was just about my first novel is like just under 60,000 words, right? It's like 50, 56, 58, right? Hello Forever. And I worked out a deal, and I think it was like 1 cent a word for a proofreader to do it, which is obscenely cheap. That is obscenely cheap for a proofreader, for not just for an editor. For an editor to go over and give me editor's notes, right? But someone wanted to help me out, and I was like, okay, I really appreciate it. And we had that deal. Hey, there's nothing wrong with lurking. I hope you have a safe trip forever. I hope everything goes good for you. And so I started getting notes back, and I was working on stuff, and we were progressing. Hey, Noel Main. And we were progressing through editing my novel, right? My first novel, and we were making progress, and they were giving me notes back. I was editing as we were going, had it all in a Google Doc that we both had access to, and it was progressing, right? And like we got like up to like, I think it was like chapter 4 or 6 or something of the 27 chapters, right? Hey, nothing wrong with that, Kalora. I always encourage people to work on their own projects. So there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And then that editor that I had been working with had some stuff happen in their life where they couldn't keep editing for me, and they ended up refunding me the money. And I only paid them, I think it was like we rounded up to since it was like 56 or 58,000 words, we'd round it up to $60. And even then, I don't even think that was 1 cent a word, because 1 cent, 600 would be $1. Then 10 times 600 would be 6. Or 10 times 600. Oh, hold on. How did I do it? I think I don't remember what if it was like 1 cent a word, or if it was like 1 or 0.1 cent a word or something, but it was really cheap. It came out to $60 for the whole thing, was what we agreed to do. But that person refunded me the money and said they couldn't do it, and I'm like, okay, at least thank you for being upfront with me. And then I started trying to do the editing by myself, right? And I got a little ways through, but then I just was lost and I was just like adrift trying to do it. So then I just moved on to my next project. So now I have one partially edited manuscript. I have another manuscript that hasn't been edited at all. And now I'm working on a third manuscript. Let me get to the just chatting screen. Boopity boopity boop. Okay. So yeah, I'm a terrible example. I am like, the thing is, for me, I don't do well doing certain things by myself. And like, I should be able to do this, but like, I'm not. And so I'm doing what I can do, doing what I know I can do, which is write a first draft, just to keep the creative juices flowing and to just, because it's good for my mental health to be creating something, right? Yes, work in progress, gang. Yes. It's funny because like my partner is involved in this writing community, right? And I don't know all the specifics of it, but the thing is they all write like short stories and they proofread each other's stuff and they work on selling their stuff in bundles and like helping each other with like getting their stuff out into the world and making money on their stuff, right? And I'm like, that's really cool, but like I don't know, I don't have like a community like that, you know what I mean? And trying to get proofreaders who will go through a 60,000 word novel and proofread and not only proofread, but also give editing notes and feedback and test readers is just complicated. Because, I guess you missed that last time, Silva. I decided to set up captions. I couldn't get it set up so it would go to the regular caption system for YouTube. At least I wasn't sure it would go to the closed captioning on YouTube. So I just did open captions. So now people can, if they can't hear me talking, they can read my captions. And so I know some people for my last stream said that it was really helpful to have captions on the stream. So I'm just kind of doing stuff. I guess you didn't notice last stream. Last stream was the first stream I had the captions on. It doesn't catch everything. And sometimes it gets a little bit wonky, but it's a free plugin, so you know what I mean? Oh, it's perfectly fine considering the number of times I've forgotten things. It is perfectly fine, Silva. Ugh. It's fine considering I pretty much stood you up on Thursday when I overslept for anime night. Oh my gosh. So I was introduced to a new artist on YouTube on like Wednesday night. I saw one of my friends had posted a link to something in a Discord that I'm in, and they're talking about like this cool music, right? And it was hold on, let me get to the actual miscellaneous media. The artist is Charlie Morgan, and she does like some kind of like synth pop techno kind of stuff, and The first song was Lip Gloss and Lasers, which is about a mech girl, right? And then she had a second song called How to Build a Mecha Girl, that is also about a mech girl, Mech-chan, right? Mecha-chan, right? Yeah, that happened. That's happening next year. End of next year, like quarter 3 or quarter 4 of next year, is when the Fate Stay Night crossover is happening, or the Fate series crossover is happening with Honkai Star Rail. Hello, Kimberly. Hello. But yeah, so I got introduced to this artist to their music on YouTube, and like I was supposed to go to bed on Wednesday. You finished the commission? Great! I'm so happy for you, Kalora. I'm so happy for you. That's so great. I'm proud of you, Kalora. And when I heard the song Lip Gloss and Lasers, right? About the mech girl and then how to build a mech girl, it was like, I don't know why, but I went full neuron activation. Like, I was just like full neuron activation. Oh, it's hot outside, Kimberly? Oh, goodness. I hope you can get some fluids in you. It always helps to stay hydrated. And I just went on this kind of thing where there's a character that I need to make for an upcoming Lancer game where I'm going to be a player, right? And my brain just went full neuron activation. I started writing this character's backstory, tweaking the character sheet, tweaking the build, and by the time I was done, I had almost completely revamped my vision of the character. And I had just been consumed with and it's not a mech girl. It's just a regular character. But somehow these two songs about mecha girls just like flipped the switch in my brain. Good, I'm glad, Kimberly. I'm really glad. I'm glad you're staying hydrated. But yeah, it just like flipped neuron activation in my brain. Ugh. And then I got kind of introduced to some new NPC stuff for Lancer, some new NPC options from this, and some new GM options, as one of my friends shared with me this thing called Enhanced Combat for Lancer that's like all these GM tools and new sit reps and new situations and secondary objectives and all this new stuff. And I'm like, I wish I would have had all this stuff when I started, right? But like, yeah, it was, and so I've been kind of on a kick about figuring out stuff with that, and that's been a whole thing. And then, but anyway, when I went full neuron activation mode, right? I was supposed to go to bed about like 3 or 4 in the morning on Thursday morning. Hey, that's nice. I'm proud of you, Noel, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for making it through the week. And Anyway, so I was originally intending to go to bed like 3 or 4 in the morning on Thursday. Now, I had slept all of Wednesday. I had slept all day Wednesday. And I had like slept through all the things I'd really wanted to do on Wednesday, right? And then when I went full neuron activation, I was wide awake. And I kept tweaking this character's story. And then, hey, it's nice to be awake sometimes, right, Kimberly? And I was just like wide awake. And then 5 became 7, and then 7 became 10, and then 10 became noon. And I was working on the character story, and I was tweaking things, and then I started watching YouTube videos. Then I started getting distracted by things on YouTube. And then before I knew it, after getting distracted from all that stuff, it was 2 p.m. and I'm like, okay, I need to eat something. So I made food, I took my medicine, and then I laid down, and then I woke up, right? And it was like 10:15, like 10:18, I think was what my phone said. And I was like, oh no, I missed anime night with Silva, right? And I was late to Critical Role. Thankfully, I don't think too much stuff had happened by the time I got Critical Role open on my phone. And even as I was watching Critical Role, I was laying in bed watching it on my phone. And it was, oh my gosh, Critical Role. They've got it's kind of a mini series, but it's taking place as part of the main series. It's weird. So like, they're doing this thing where, at the end of episode 98, most definitely, Kimberly. Though it is nice to get some rest sometimes. So there's balance to it, right? So at the end of episode 98 of Critical Role, the player party had confronted the leader of the villainous faction, right? And he had said, or probably his like simulacrum or something, right? I don't think he's actually there. But he's like, before we continue fighting, come with me. I want to show you something. And he shows them a recorded memory from the fall of this flying city, Aor. Now, the flying city of Aor... Oh, gosh. Yeah. Sports shirts can get really expensive. Kimberly. Oh gosh, that sounds terrifying forever. Oh my gosh, giant roach in the sink? No, thank you. But so the whole conflict that's happening in Critical Role Campaign 3 right now is this guy Lewdness. I guess also spoilers for Campaign 3 if you're not caught up. Aw, ladybugs are cute though. When it comes to scheduling, the final assignment's almost upon us, and before you ask, yes, it's the... I mean, that's a interesting timing. I'm sure Forever either killed the bug or got it away. So in the conflict of Critical Role right now, what's happening is this guy Lewdness wants to release one way or the other, it got dealt with forever. This guy Ludness wants to release this thing called Predathos, which is the God Eater. It's this monstrosity that can eat gods, can eat the divine, right? And he's been willing to trample over everyone to do it, right? And he's been willing to kill anyone who got in his way. And he has been like yeah, I can only imagine, Kimberly. And so Ludness is like, I'm doing this because the gods are bad, and even the good gods are just abusing their power and position and are not bringing any real value to the planet, right? And hey, Julian. And so the whole thing where he's like, I'm going to do this, and he gets people to follow him, and the player party is divided on whether they support the gods, but what they don't support, I'm doing all right-ish. I've been really sleepy lately. I've been really eepy as I've been exhausted and stressed out as a lot of stuff's been going on, and like, I was supposed to call 211 today to get in contact with some charitable organizations to see if they could help me with my electric bill. And, but I just was so scared of making a phone call and calling new people and essentially having to call them and beg for help that I just couldn't. I was just like froze, and I just like went back to bed. So I'm gonna have a late fee because stuff's getting dealt with late, but assuming everything goes good, I have an appointment on Monday with my case manager for the homeless clinic that I go to that helps me with stuff, and they should hopefully be able to help me get a lot of that stuff sorted. So like today was the last day to resolve certain things without dealing with a late fee, but my electric company told me that my electric bill, if I don't pay it on time this month, I'm looking at like a $1 to $2 fee, and then I just have to pay what I owe. So I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. Because it's a thing where like, I have enough money to pay the electric bill. Well, I spent some of the money today because I made the decision. But if I pay the electric bill, then I will not have enough money for my rent and internet next month. And I don't have any guaranteed way to get more money before then, right? Because all the stuff is up in the air right now. So I'm making the decision to hold back some of the money. I'll pay some of the electric bill, but I'm holding back some of the money in order to be able to prioritize my rent and my internet bill. Thank you, Kimberly. I'm glad you believe in me. Thank you, and I appreciate it. It means the world to me. But all right, Noel, man. I'll see you when you get back. So anyway, back to Critical Role. So the players are kind of divided in Critical Role. For those of you who don't know, Critical Role is an actual play show where a bunch of voice actors play D&D together, right? And the one thing is that the players are against what Ludness is doing and believe that whatever Ludness's ideals might be, whether he might be right or wrong about the gods, his methods are going too far. He's killing people. He's causing all-out war, and he's just doing a lot of destructive stuff in order to achieve his goals. And the players know he's at the ruins of this fallen city Aor. There used to be flying cities in the past of this world, and they crashed. And the flying city of Aor is a city that has been in the lore of Exandria, the world that Critical Role takes place in, for like multiple campaigns, right? And the players across all of the campaigns have never actually been to the ruins of Aor. So they finally went to the ruins of Aor, and Lewdness, after they confront, they face each other after having to work together in some big battle. Lewdness says, before you attack me, I want to show you this. It is a recorded memory from the fall of Aor. It is a recorded memory from the fall of Aor. And so we got told that what was going to happen is going to be a mini-series where it's going to be 3 episodes that for 99, 100, and 101, that even if you don't know anything about Critical Role, you can jump into episode 99 and understand at least for those 3 episodes, because everything is going to be new characters, a different game master, guest players, and it's going to be its own kind of self-contained story. And what they're playing is they are playing the memory. So instead of having a lore dump, a history check, instead of having Matt Mercer narrate this story or like give a general overview of this story that they're all watching on this memory, they're going to play through it. So they get to experience it as we get to experience it, right? And so, yes, it is great to have Julian here. And so it's this thing where we've had this instantly makes people think about Calamity, EXU Calamity, which was a mini series that was kind of like this, except it wasn't like a thing that was being told to the players. It was just a separate mini series that dealt with the Age of Arcanum and the fall of the city of Avalier. Right? I think it was Avalier. And in that story, right? Because also someone put it really well that EXU Calamity was lightning in a bottle. They had Brennan Lee Mulligan game mastering. People have described EXU Calamity as some of the best content Critical Role has ever put out, right? It was self-contained. You could pick it up. Great acting, great story, great like excitement, and it wasn't too long, and it was heart-wrenching, it was emotional, and it was special, right? And people are wondering, like, with bringing Brennan Lee Mulligan back, with doing another story in the Calamity, they're like, are they trying to catch that lightning in a bottle again? And because there were a lot of people that got turned on to Critical Role, myself included, because of Calamity, right? In Calamity, it wasn't, all right, I'll hopefully, just one thing before you go, Julian, because I remember you do play Honkai Star Rail. There was a stream this morning where they announced a bunch of stuff and they gave out 3 codes that are good for Stellar Jades and stuff. I'm going to display them on screen in a little bit whenever I get to that and talking about my week. But since you might come back later, I'll just tell you, look those up. I'm sure you can find them online. Just, they're only good for like a day. So you might want to look those up, Julian. So, also, Julian, I value you and you are amazing. Oh, you got all 3 codes? Okay. Okay, good. So with the whole thing with the EXU calamity, the entire story was about not about stopping the calamity or saving the flying city. It was about doing something to like save as many lives as possible. This group of people that was responsible for doing stuff, but then they also in the midst of their stuff, they were like crucial to like what caused the start of the calamity, right? So they were crucial to the start of it, right? But they also took steps to like mitigate the damage in order to make sure that more people survived, right? So it was this group of heroes that was trying to do the right thing, but because of their broken nature, they ended up being manipulated by the betrayer gods and causing all this destruction, but they were able to lessen some of the damage. Goodness, Julian. Yeah, that's around when I woke up this morning. Hey, Nabiru, I was just talking about Critical Role. So in EXU Calamity, which was a side story, the whole story was about this group of people that was trying to save as many lives as possible, right? So when we, the fans, got told, okay, this is a story on Aor and about the fall of Aor during the calamity, you've got Brennan Lee Mulligan coming back to Game Master, we're like, okay, is this going to be like that again, where it's going to be whenever the city fell and the story of some people struggling to save as many lives as possible, right? And we never really learned how Aor fell. It was just assumed that like one of the betrayer gods knocked it out of the sky. In Critical Role lore, the calamity was a war between one set of gods that wanted to destroy mortals and restart the Exandria, and the prime deities that wanted to defend what they'd created and who believed that what they'd created was good. And their war caused all this destruction and death, and it was like a real dark age. So we knew Aor fell in the middle of that. So the presumption was that something. Now, also we knew that Aor had been working on a god-killing weapon. So everyone's like, okay, did the gods just like smite it out of the sky? Because it was a flying city. They tend to fall. Then we get to episode 99. In the beginning of episode 99 is this weird abstract thing, right? The characters are like balls of light in some infinite space. And they put on this filter because it's not played live. They pre-record the episodes, right? They put on this filter where every time one of them would say their names, it would be this garbled filter, and they have this like visual effect appear over the mouth of whoever was saying the name. And the idea is their names were so complex because these beings were so godly and powerful that their true names could not be comprehended by mortals. So when they said their names, we, the audience, couldn't know the names. Except the closed captioning on the stream had the names, which was hilarious. He was like, what are these names? But also a lot of people had trouble with episode 99 because if you have a lot, there's a decent portion that have audio processing disorders. The audio effect they did for that was so troublesome. Some people just had to nope out because it just messed with their audio processing disorder. And it was just their audio processing situation and stuff that they just couldn't do stuff. It was so bad. It was such a disgruntling and disturbing audio effect. Thankfully, that ended very shortly, and it was revealed later that what you saw in that intro sequence was how the gods got to Exandria, the planet that the story takes place on. And then the players are playing as the gods taking mortal form. And you find out that Aor had developed this thing that made it so that the gods could not see into their city and could not affect the city, right? So they had to assume mortal form, be born as mortals, and be one of them was a construct that was created as essentially a pseudo mortal, and grow up, live a full life, and then slowly over time come into understanding that they were truly the gods. And then they come into awakening to their plan. And their plan is to sneak into Aor and destroy the device. And they snuck into Aor, and they met with the betrayer gods who had also taken mortal form. And it's like, okay, this is something that hurts, that's danger to both of us, the prime deities and the betrayers. So let's work together in order to resolve this issue. And the prime deities are like, well, let's show mercy and compassion and just destroy the device and learn from it and leave them be or whatever. And the betrayers are like, are you kidding? They'll just make another one. We need to not only destroy the device, we have to destroy this city and all of the technology and people who are able to make this device again in order to make sure no one can make this device again. And then you realize that what Ludinus is showing the players is he's showing them that even the prime deities, even the good gods, were part of the collaboration that led to the destruction of Aor and the death of everyone that was on the city. And Ludinus is just trying to show, it's like this, they were a part of this. And that's just a whole thing that you're realizing as you're watching the episode, right? And last night, they finally got things really moving. And it was a really gut wrencher because the players are playing some of the prime deities, right? The good gods. And they are slowly realizing there is still some faith left in this godless city. There are people that still worship them, that still believe in them, right? And some people have the thought that maybe instead of turning this weapon on all the gods, maybe they'll use it to help the prime deities, and maybe they could just use it on the betrayer gods, right? So instead of just sealing them away where they can escape at some point, you can just erase them, right? But the plan is already in motion. They've had this plan in motion for 30 years. And there's this deep and emotional thing that I need to watch. But I fell asleep partway through, and I missed these deep, emotional, and like gut-wrenching experiences that people were talking about. I'm like, man, it would have been great if I'd watched that, but I fell asleep. There's this celestial that they corner that came to the Aor to warn them of the god's plan to sneak in and destroy the device. And when they confront him, he's like, we are like, while you've been doing this for 30 years, right? We have just been standing still, doing nothing, leaderless for, oh, your tablet keeps dying? I'm sorry, Kimberly. And there's this whole thing where like the celestial, the angel is saying, why are you fighting this war? Why are you fighting this war when, like, if you can set aside why you're fighting for something like this, then why are you fighting at all? It's like, this is like a squabble to you, but it's all out war to us. We live and we die for this, right? And the celestial ends up destroying himself, ends up killing himself. And yeah, I really need to go back and watch it. And like, you're changing it? Okay, cool. Anyway, so that was last night. Also, if anyone, for anyone watching, yeah, it was so interesting, Noel, man. For anyone watching on YouTube, if you can like the stream, it helps the algorithm with getting it out to more people, and it helps with getting more people into the stream while the stream is running. So if you all can like the stream, that would be really great. So then I went to sleep right after that, right? And then I woke up this morning and I was kind of dealing with anxiety and all that stuff with the calls I needed to make and all the stuff I needed to do. And I was just overwhelmed and exhausted, and just, I was feeling kind of burnt out. And then like, I was watching videos on YouTube to start unwinding, and it's really funny. I have just started playing Honkai Star Rail, right? Just a few weeks ago, right? But like, I've become so immersed into the game as I've been grinding through it and learning more about the game. I've also been learning more about the community and watching videos of different guides and things. But also, I found there are these videos of some of the English voice actors from Honkai Star Rail doing streams where they are pulling for whatever the new character is, right? And the voice actress for Sela, from the character from Belobog, seems to be the one who's like posting all of them and like organizing all of them, it looks like. Or at least she's the one that I've been watching. And it's like all of their things where they have all of their perspectives up as they're pulling. And it's funny, going back and watching some of the old ones were relatively normal, but they became more and more unhinged, where they're like, the voice actors will say their ultimate lines, or will say variations of voice lines that the character says in the character's voice in order to give or do really, random things in order to give themselves extra luck before they pull, and watching all these people pull for gotcha, for a gotcha game, and their reactions. Molly is the name of the voice actress who plays Sela. She just becomes more and more unhinged every time she loses a 50-50. And she, like, up until Jade, she lost every 50-50 that she could lose. When it came to characters. She did fine on the light cones, and she just was like, I think it was like 8 in a row she lost. Where like she would lose the 50-50, and then she would obviously succeed on the next one whenever she got the next one, but that's not a 50-50 anymore. That's a guaranteed, you know. But that was just really interesting. And it's kind of interesting to see how like these characters who like have become maybe a little bit phased out, a little bit less popular, not really meta defining characters, but their voice actors are still interacting with the community. Right? And that's really interesting. And I don't know, just the community stuff's been really interesting. And then while I was watching those videos, I saw this morning Honkai Star Rail was doing a stream announcing this stuff for 2.4. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll watch the stream. And then I go to watch the stream. And some of the stuff seems really cool. One of the things I really like is they're introducing a thing where with 2.4 and moving forward, anytime they do limited time events, everyone, as long as you're at least Trailblazer level 21, everyone will be able to participate in the limited time events. Even if you haven't completed the story, you'll be able to participate in the limited time events, which I think is really cool. It'll, like, on the events page, it'll give you a button to press to teleport you there. And if the event takes place on a map you don't have access to, you'll temporarily gain access to the map. And they said, but if you, while you have access to that map, if you by chance gain access to the map through normal means while the event is still running, you will no longer be able to access it from the event page. You'll have to access it normally, but all of your progress will be saved on the quest. You won't have to restart the quest, the event from the beginning, which is nice. Speaking of which, I completely whiffed on some events. They had the whole Herta space station event thing, and I did the first one, but it was like you have to do one every day, and then I just like kept forgetting because my life is crazy. But they also released some codes for Stellar Jades and different resources. So I know some of my audience plays Honkai Star Rail. So I don't know if people missed the stream or not, but I'm going to put these codes up. Okay. Image. There. So, there are the codes. I'll probably leave these up while I'm doing tonight's writing. But in case anyone missed them, you can find them online. People were recording them, but I just screenshotted them real quick when I saw the codes. I'm like, I should screenshot it so that way I don't forget, right? But as you see, they're only good for like a day. So I was like, oh, well, I'll take some stellar jades and some resources. Already redeemed them? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And Julian said that he did those. They had already done those. Oh, you saw Pom Pom and he got angry. Oh, no. Poor Pom Pom. Poor Pom Pom. Though, I don't know how to feel about the fact that, like, they are introducing in 2.4 what looks to be essentially a better Clara. So Clara is a character in Honkai Star Rail whose whole thing is that if she gets attacked, Svarog, her like parental figure that's a giant robot, will attack whoever attacked her as a counterattack. That is her entire shtick, right? But they're introducing another counter character, and this counter character has stuff where like you can pull aggro, you can heal yourself, you can reduce incoming damage, you can buff yourself, and everyone's just like, this is a better Clara. This is what they call it. They called it Clara Pro Max, was what they called her, right? And like she even like walks around with no shoes like Clara does. And she's also a young girl like Clara is. But she's a young girl with a giant sword. And I don't know how to feel about that, because it's like, in all of the videos I watch of the English voice actors hanging out and doing stuff for Honkai Star Rail, the one constant I see on a lot of those streams is the Clara voice actress. And it's just like, she's really active in the community. I know it's just the English voice actress. I don't know about the other ones for the other languages, but she's really active in the community. And then, I mean, Clara already wasn't like super meta relevant, but then to just get completely power crept, and for a character who's also a destruction character, it was just like, ooh. I think Clara's a destruction. Hold on. Yeah, she's a destruction. It's a destruction, and they're a physical character. Like, literally, she's the same type. She's the same combat type, the same path. And she's also a 5-star. And, like, it just feels like they're just completely power creeping her. And then someone mentioned in one of the comments on one of the videos about the whole thing with the Fate crossover. And they're like, I wonder what would happen if Clara met Ilya. And I said, you know what? I want that to happen. I want Clara to meet Ilya and maybe get a new form. Maybe get some kind of an upgrade to more modernize her kit or something. Or gain a new path. Maybe she becomes maybe she stops relying completely on Mr. Svarog, and she maybe she becomes a magical girl, like Ilya did in that one world. So maybe she becomes a magical girl and does her own thing. I would really like something like that. And I know it's selfish, not selfish. I know it's a thing where, like, I haven't even pulled Clara, so I don't even have a horse in this game, right? But I don't know, watching these videos with the voice actors interacting made the characters feel more like, I don't know, real to me, I guess. Seeing the people behind the characters just added more life to the characters for me, right? And it just feels bad to just like straight up power creep a character. So yeah, that's just the thing that I saw, and I was like, oh, okay. And then we're getting March 7th new form. Maybe we'll get a new form for Yang Ching, who I pulled when I lost my 50-50. All right. Anyway, it's after 9:30. Let's get to the actual writing of the stream. Writing chapter 18. This is going to be different. There is going to be a little bit of introduction, and then then we're going to get to a fight scene. The fight scene will take up the bulk of the chapter. So the plan for this chapter is going to be some kind of a lead-in. The beasts attack. The beasts are really, they're fighting them back with their tools, with their special equipment that they have. And they're fighting them back, but these beasts are bigger and stronger, right? So they pull out these experimental weapons that are even bigger, more heavy weapons, but they have a bigger power draw. So one of the people has the idea, what happens? So whenever we use the multi-link system, it like has a synergistic effect that increases how much power the drives generate, and they're connected, passing power wirelessly from the drives on your suit. So like, well, what if we connected all of our drives in a big multi-link network? Then it's revealed that in order for the drive to detect something further away, it has to be specifically tuned to one emotion. It has to be specifically tuned to one emotion in order to set up that kind of a network between multiple suits. So they tune it to courage, the determination to succeed even in a difficult situation, right? Generate tons of power and are able to overpower the enemy. Everyone's happy and celebrating at the end of the chapter, but Jonathan isn't, because for the first time, he really, really looked at how much power the suit was generating. And in my notes, I said that like the suits went in their synergistic mode, were generating enough power to run a small city. And I feel like that might be a little bit much, because that much power would fry the cabling, right? Would fry the suit, overheat everything, right? So maybe it's enough power to to run a building, enough power to run a family home for a month, right? So let me look up how much power does a home use in a month. Let me look that up. $900 kilowatts. Okay. Let me put that in my notes. We'll say 950, so it's above average. Kilowatt hours. Okay. Hold on. That's per month. Oh, I'm reading other references. Playing a match right now, bro, spamming Revival Lord and somehow still hasn't destroyed your shields. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness gravy. How do you measure kilowatt hours? The appliance by the amount of time hours you use. The appliance and divide by 1,000. Okay. Kilowatt hour is 1 kilowatt of power sustained for 1 hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1,000 watts for 1 hour. A 40-watt light bulb uses 40 watts of energy every hour. Okay. Okay. All right. Kimberly, good night. I hope you get some good rest. It was great having you. Thank you for coming to the stream. I very much appreciated having you here. Okay. Actually. I just had a thought of something I could use for an enemy in one of my in one of my Lancer games. Ba 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 ba. Oh, it was great having you, Kimberly. Oh, you lost? Oh my gosh. Oh no, Noel, man. Time left. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Whatever. I'm gonna make a note that I could use the oh, your dog's acting more spoiled than usual. What's your dog doing forever? Okay. Oh no, not the watermelon. Not the watermelon. All right. Let's get to it. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Let's get to the writing. Ugh. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the introduction, get to the fight, then we're going to switch kind of screens as I'm going to plan out the fight. And then as I plan out the fight and plot out what's going to happen, I'm going to write it, and then it's going to come together as we go. Okay? He got me with a unit he destroyed at the start of the match, revived it, had no counters. Oh no. Is that the Neopets game? Noel main? The Neopets TCG? I think you were the one who was excited for that. You're right, that was Jesus. Sorry. I know someone mentioned it. I'm not saying that you're all interchangeable. It's just, it's been a really rough week, so trying to keep track of minor details was a little bit hard. What game are you playing, Noel Main? You're talking about shields and stuff. And decks. So what you playing? Some Duel Masters? Oh, nice. I used to get really into Shadowverse. But then a set rotation happened, then I just wasn't really into it after that. Oh, excuse me. Prefer games without set rotation, but I'm cool with it as long as the game is a skill strategy check rather than a wallet check. Yeah. Those kind of games can be hard to find sometimes, I'll be honest with you. Speaking of wallet checks, did anybody see, I don't want to get into too much politics stuff, but I think it was Iowa just signed a bill that like makes prior authorizations for medicines and medical treatments illegal in the state of Iowa. I think it was Iowa. For those of you who don't know, be glad you don't know, but there's a thing where if you want to get medical treatment or medicines, a lot of times your insurance company will say, oh, we need a prior authorization from your doctor before we pay for this medicine. And then they throw it into processing hell and won't process it even if the doctor puts in the authorization. They throw it into processing hell until the doctor picks a cheaper medication, so that way they can save money. And it causes people to get sick, and to, especially whenever they change, changing medicine's always difficult, and whenever they change what it is that they're going to require prior authorizations for, so then people have been used to taking one thing that all of a sudden have to take something else. So I think it was Iowa. Was it Iowa? Let me check that. Thought it was Iowa. I know it wasn't Idaho. Oh gosh, took me to a bill. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a whole bill about it. Oh. Ba, 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 ba. So it's not removing all prior authorization. It's creating an exemption program. Okay. Which it's a test program, so I have to see how it works for the people. Anyway, I got distracted again. I need to actually focus on writing if I want to get this done at any point tonight. Speaking of which, hold on. Let me check my schedule and see if I'm going grocery shopping tomorrow. Oh no, what happened? Well, I mean, you don't have to tell about if it's something like personal, but I hope everything works out for you, Noel, man. See, I was going to go grocery shopping tomorrow, but my ride had a death in the family and is dealing with like all of that stuff. Okay. Welcome back, Noel, man. I hope everything worked out for you. All right, I'm glad it all got handled, Noel, man. Do-do-do-do. Dude. Hey, Violet. We're getting a bit of a late start, but I'm getting rolling. Gonna be writing a fight scene tonight. So I'm writing a short introduction. Then we get to the fight scene because I want to frame it. And then I'm going to show you how I plot out fight scenes with introduction, conflict resolution. And the way I put together the phrases as I put together the fight scene and then the closure of the fight scene. Thank you, Noel May. Sorry, Violet. I saw Nolele. No. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your first name. It looks like Nolelia. And for some reason, my brain said Noel Main because that's another user. And I'm not saying that I see you as interchangeable. It's just my brain is weird. Okay. All right. Da, 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 da. Mhm. So I got distracted with something I wanted to look up. Ooh, I found it. So whenever I come up with a NPC unit for Lancer, it always helps if I find images that work for it. And I was just realizing I can use the enemies from I can use the enemies from Escaflowne for whatchamacallit. The vampire NPCs that I want to use for one of my games. So I just had to look that up real quick. Anyway. No, Leah. Okay. I'm used to calling you Violet, so I think I am gonna just continue calling you Violet if you're okay with that. Oh, no, Leah. Okay. Okay. Storage room, that's where it was. Okay. Okay. Ba 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 ba. Thank you, Violet. I got her E1, which has made a huge difference. Getting her E1 has made it. I wish I could have got her E2. And it's funny, I got her E1, and then the next pull, I got another 5-star, but I lost the 50-50. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I was down to single pulls. And I was like, if I had pulled, because I wanted her E2, and I'm like, if I had pulled her E1 and her E2 back to back, I would have lost my mind. But I lost the 50-50 on it. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. We live and we learn. The E1, I mean, we live and we move on. The E1 is still revolutionary for me. Oh, Violet, do you play? Yeah. Did you see the Honkai Star Rail stream this morning, Violet? Did you already get the Stellar Jades from the codes from the stream? Because I have the codes. I can put them on screen if you need them. Yeah, they do. They expire so very fast, Violet. I wonder if they're still doing that thing where you have like an invite code that if you invite people to play the game with that code, it like you get like rewards or something. Like that, they were doing that for an event. And it's really funny because I asked my friend Hattie, I was like, do you have a friend code or whatever that I could use to get us both resources when I join? And she was like, no, I don't, that's not a thing. And then I joined, and then like after I was learning more about the stuff, I found where it had the friend code. I'm like, oh, well, too late for that now. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. Yeah, that's always the problem with something like that. Did I describe the weapons? Let me see. Okay, so he has the heated sword and shield. Oscillating blades. Pulse lasers. That was the other thing. Oscillating blades and pulse laser. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Mhm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm feeling I slept. I mean, I didn't sleep too much today, but I'm feeling tired. I don't know why I'm feeling so tired. I've been feeling really tired lately. I think it might just be the stress getting to me. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'm like really just feeling like I just want to like curl up under my blanket and go to sleep right now forever. Being completely honest with you right now. Or like I am just having so much trouble focusing on uh on the stream, on the story. Mm. One of the worst things is I keep falling asleep with my computer on, and I'm like, I keep falling asleep with my computer on, and that just like runs up my electric bill, and I'm like, I very, very much cannot afford to keep doing that. Uh, Like I'll lay down for like a couple, like, see what always happens is like, I'll feel a little bit tired when I'm in the middle of working on a project and I'm like, okay, I'm going to lay down for a second just to like rest my eyes, just to rest my head. But I don't want to shut down the entire computer and close all of the windows I have open and all the things for the stuff I'm working on. So it's just going to be a short thing. And then, and then I fall asleep and then I wake up like 6 hours later and my computer has been on the whole time. And I'm like, oh, great. Oh, poopy face. Yeah. Bah, 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 bah. All right. We got the introduction done, which is not very great. Sorry, I was just I was reading something online because I got thinking about character building. And I ate a bunch of food today. I actually ordered delivery today. It's funny, I ordered delivery and I put in the instructions to call me when you got here, but whenever the delivery driver got here. But then the delivery driver just texted me and I didn't hear the text go off. And then I'm like, oh, it's been a while. I should check my phone. It says, and I opened my phone. It said delivery complete. And I was like, what? And I was like, when I opened my door and the food was sitting right outside my door. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I guess. Sure. I've barely written anything tonight. Let me get some water. Let me get some water and wash my face and see how I feel, okay? I'll be right back, chat. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the waiting screen and I will just be right back. We are back, chat. I discovered something very, very important. I was hella dehydrated. Like, my body just soaked up that water so fast. I had one more of my vitamin C, whatchamacallit, drink packets. Not the emergency. It's a regular drink packet, but it's a regular drink flavoring, sugar-free drink flavoring, but it has vitamin C in it. I had one more of those left, so I put one of those in. And now I feel much better. Okay. Anyway. Yep, I'm back. Let's see what we can get done. Okay. Gotta get my brain in gear, chat. Let me just grab something real quick. I'm just grabbing. I had an idea for something I could use as a bad guy. And I was like, I should grab that picture while I'm thinking about it before, so it doesn't bug me later and so I don't forget about it later. Alright, and just grabbing some stuff, then we're gonna get rolling. Oh, excuse me. Whew. That feels much better. All right. Okay, there we go. Got the images I wanted that I can use for things in Lancer, which is good. Now let's focus on this. Sorry, I'm suddenly smelling something. Hold on 1 second. No, it's not coming from my computer. Might just be some sewage or something outside. My computer is right by a window, so it's probably a lot of smells from outside. Okay. All right. Okay. Um, so I have to figure out how I want this to be set up here. The idea is that there's a stalemate, right? Then Jonathan starts to break the stalemate. And then the big beast shows up that their weapons aren't effective against. Okay. Okay. All right. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I think that's almost 1,000 words. Okay. Now we're chugging along. I'm not sure if I like the direction this fight's going. So what I want to have happen in this fight is weapons are effective and they're able to injure the beasts. Big beast shows up that the weapons are ineffective against. They get bigger weapons that have higher power supply. Big multi-link that reveals the limitations of the ranged multi-link. And then big power draw, and then ends with while everyone is celebrating whatchamacallit, Jonathan is making a silent promise to himself that he's going to find a way to get the Brave Drive used to help people more than just being a weapon, after seeing how much power it generated in the fight. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we've got to get to the planning portion of this fight. Let's see, how many words do I have to mess with here? This looks like it's like just over 1,500. No, it's just over 1,000 words. Yeah, 1,050. So yeah, I have about 1,000 words to play with for this fight scene. Normally my fight scenes go between 400 to 800 words, so I can I can embellish it a little bit. Okay. So now okay. Now we'll show you how I do this. Okay. Okay, so this loop is what I do here with introduction, conflict, resolution. Introduction. Introduce whatever the characters are going to try to do. Conflict. The thing happens. Whatever it is they're trying to do. So like if it's I'm going to like in the broader sense, it's we're going to flank the enemy. Conflict, what happens? Then resolution is why it failed or succeeded and what that means. Failed and what that means for the next part of the fight. And then I let the resolution lead into the introduction of the next phrase of the fight. The entire concept here is that the one resolution leads into the next introduction because the next introduction picks up where the resolution left off of, okay, this is what it means for the status quo, and this is what we're going to do next. And the idea is you have setup, payoff, setup, payoff, setup, payoff, setup, payoff. You set up something, and then you pay it off. Okay, so first we have blah, blah, blah. Conflict. And resolution. Now, normally you want a good pattern of fail and success, fail and success, fail and success. You don't want too many successes because then it's like, well, why isn't the fight over, right? But you don't want too many failures because like you want to make sure that your characters look competent if they're supposed to be competent. Resolution. Okay. So this one is so this phrase 3 is a failure, but it's a failure of the enemy. So trying to represent that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that all pans out. Okay. Always amusing how even when an enemy fails, if they're plot important, they will survive no matter what. Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully, none of the enemies they're fighting here are plot important enemies that need to survive. I kind of avoid that a lot by having them fight a lot of like army stuff. Okay. 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 Now, let me see what this looks like when I write this. Let me see what this looks like when I write all this stuff up now that I've plotted it out. Where am I going to put this? It's hot? Oh, goodness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're dealing with that, LeMay. Trying to figure out where to place this. Trying to figure out where to place this note so that way I can see the whatchamacallit. Come on. Hello? Okay, just gonna move this here. All right, there we go. So I could see my outline. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Okay. Should be like 2,000. Oh, 1,500. Okay. So we're about halfway through the chapter. Okay. I don't know, chat. I'm debating calling it here because, like, I caught a second wind that kind of carried me through to that point. But, like, my second wind just ran out, chat. My second wind just ran out. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it here tonight. Gonna have to do. That was not the button I wanted. Why is this? Okay. Okay, anyway. Let's wind down. Why is... There we go. Yeah. Yep. It was great having you all here. It was good to do a writing stream again. I guess I'm not up to full strength yet. There was once a time when I could crank out 3,000 words a night. But I'm still have to rebuild that. You have to. I might need another training arc, chat. I might need another training arc. Goodness. All right. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, I like to speak positivity and joy and love into the lives of my viewers. I like to say positive affirmations for everybody. So I'm going to shout out everyone who I see in chat. All right, so we had LeMay, Kalora, Silver, Forever, Noel Main, Silva, Kimberly was here. Julian was here for a little while. Noel Main. Violet is here. There's more Forever. Nabiru. Alright, so for all the people who I've mentioned so far, for anyone who watched the stream and didn't say anything in chat, and for anyone who watches this VOD afterwards, I want to tell all of you that I love you and that I believe in each and every one of you. I think that you all possess a unique potential to make this world a better place by living in it in your own special way. I value having you as a member of this community and as a member of my life. I am grateful to have gotten a chance to spend time with each and every one of you. And I think it's just really great to have you here. Always remember that you are valuable, you are important, you matter, you are worthy of love, and you are deserving of happiness and good things. Always remember the Star Hunter motto: shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always stop to enjoy the memes. One thing I ask is if you have any friends or anyone that you think might enjoy my content, or any arch nemesis, enemies, rivals, co-workers, you can invite them to the next stream and show them my content. Next stream is going to be Monday, 8:30 p.m. EST. Probably going to be finishing this chapter. We'll see how I'm feeling. Yeah, always great to have more people. We had a lot of people come through tonight, which was nice. It was really nice. And I really value having all of you here. I'm glad that you all seem to really enjoy my writing streams. I hope to get my stamina back up. Taking that break to play Honkai Star Rail just really, it took a lot out of me. But gonna work on getting that back up. Back to snuff. And sorry, I can't even remember my outro. Always, one last thing. You do not have to donate to be here. You don't have to give money to be welcome in this community. I value your time, your attention, and your energy. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for being here and for being a part of my life. With that said, I do appreciate all the people who have donated in the past and will donate in the future to help make things possible for me. Every little bit that you give helps me out, and I appreciate all of it. If you ever feel motivated to donate to improve the stream, to improve my life, to help me out with any number of things, and it is financially safe and responsible for you to do so, then you can, there are links where you can do so down below in the description, and the donate button on Twitch. So on YouTube in the description, there's a link to the PayPal where you can do a one-time donation, and there's a link to Ko-fi where you can do either one-time donation or sign up for monthly donations. There's not currently any rewards for the monthly donations, but I do appreciate the people who do that. And it is just kind of a, if you want to have a tangible way to say that you appreciate me and my content, that is a way that you can do so. The donate button on Twitch just takes you to Ko-fi, where you can do, again, a one-time donation or monthly donation. I prefer, if you're going to do a one-time donation, to do it on PayPal because I get more of the money, but I will just be grateful to anything that I can get, especially in my time of need right now when I got to figure out how I'm going to pay these bills. With that said, thank you all for coming, and have yourselves a great night.